What's good, everybody? My name is Sonny. This is episode 114 of the Fire This Time podcast. I'm here with my homie Slank. What's good, Slank?
What's up, everybody?
Yes, sir. So, unfortunately, we are without one of our trio tonight. Aki the G cannot make it, but he is with us in spirit. You know what I'm saying? He'll be here with us next time for sure. But as we proceed, definitely want to welcome everybody. Encourage y'all to like, share, comment, help us, keep the momentum going and build it up, so we can spread the fire. You know what I'm saying? But for this episode, we want to react to a few of the interesting news items that have come across the past few weeks, including some of the moves of the National Guard on Trump's National Guard on major black urban centers like Chicago, possibly Chicago, but Memphis in the crosshairs now. We know what they did in DC. We're also going to talk about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, some of the issues surrounding that, including some of we'll leave it there until we get deeper in the episode. Don't want to throw off the algorithm too heavily, but to start things off, I do want to bring up the loss of one of our brothers down in Mississippi, Trey Reed, being found on a college campus, that of Delta State University, hanging from a tree. So I'll pull up the article now. This is from Mississippi Free Press. So Slank, have you heard about this?
Yeah, I seen the article when it first, maybe not when it first happened, but about sometime last week, come across Twitter, because I think at first it was reported there was two hangings, and I think one of them was a white guy, like a homeless white man that was further away, unrelated. But yeah, nah, this shit's fucked up.
Yeah, fucked up. And I know you mentioned it to me. I seen it in this article that it was ruled a possible suicide, and that's why the family's calling for an independent autopsy. And there's the long history of that, I guess black men just got a thing of, hanging themselves publicly for suicide. Even with the long history of lynching in this country that we know about, it seems like we still struggle to see it, that it could still be happening. Is that how you seeing this, Slank?
Yeah. I mean, every time something like this happens, the authorities will say there's no foul play, try to, it was just a suicide, sweep it under the rug, move on, forget about it type shit. But I mean, that's just, I ain't buying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they used to do back in the 50s. That's what they used to do back in the 1880s, all the way through. So, I think definitely there should be an independent investigation. One of the things that troubles me is I've seen that the lawyer that the family got is Ben Crump. And I mean, he's just always the attorney for somebody in these tragic situations. And a lot of times when it's police violence, they killed somebody, he don't win usually. I don't know. Maybe somebody can bring up his win and loss record, but like I've seen him, just miss key facts and points and not talk about it at all in the trial. And the cop gets away with killing somebody. So yeah, I don't know about him, but it's a tragic situation. They probably reached out to, maybe he reached out to them. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely tragic. Rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family. I'm very upset just reading that the media was reporting his death in his name before the family was even informed. Now, what type of wicked behavior is that on the behalf of the officials involved?
It don't sound like a very thorough investigation, especially if you're saying that he killed himself and you didn't even look into talking to his family members before you announced his death and they wrote it as suicide. You know what I'm saying? What kind of investigation is that?
And I mean, I seen somewhere in here they said that he didn't appear to have any injuries on him. But on the college campus, you know, somebody being drugged or too drunk to defend themselves is like I don't see how a public hanging, you know what I'm saying, even without, I mean, and this is from their perspective, you know, that's why the independent autopsy is important.
Yeah,
I really want to see the veracity of that claim that he had no visible injuries. Let's really check in on that.
yeah,
So, yeah, tragic situation all around. Rest in peace to that brother. Uh,
definitely.
oh, sure. So keep things moving. I know we also for this week's fire, one thing we can mention real quick is Jay Electronica. For those that are a fan, he's been dropping new stuff constantly. Now, as I say that, I see something that actually ties into the episode we're having today. You know what I'm saying? So Jay Electronic, he's been dropping like old songs, remastering on his YouTube, some new music. I think this is a new EP right here, a written testimony. Uh, and then I see this one. This is I think another maybe new EP right here, a written testimony, Mars, the Inhabited Planet. I'm seeing one of the songs is Candace Owens, Tell Us More. So I don't know if this is a response to what Candace Owens has been, you know, speaking out about in reference to her friend Charlie Kirk being killed. And funny enough, we know about Jay Electronica maybe residing in some of these crevices, political crevices, you know, where I don't know what what relationship he got with Candace Owens politically, but I know he used to date a Rothschild, so I don't know if we're able to play some of this, but yeah, check out some of Jay Electronica's new music. I wasn't expecting to see this when I started talking about it, but you know, I wasn't gonna eject. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna get off course. Had to see it through, but
Yeah.
see if we play some.
Paris up to Fulton County. I'm a uptown stepper. Fire.
We gonna stop it right there just so we avoid any copyright claims. But yeah though, to keep it moving, let's actually proceed. That kind of leads us pretty well into the Charlie Kirk assassination. We could say more about Trump sending the National Guard into DC, planning to do it in Chicago, but the governor's resisting it. So now they're looking at Memphis. I don't know if they're, just quickly, is there anything you want to say on that, Slank? We know that's not the real solution to the problems that they're so-called trying to fix, but we know where that politic comes from. Anything you want to say on that before we move on?
Just part of the longer pattern of occupying Black communities. I think the acceptance and like almost the normalization of just sending the National Guard into majority Black cities to, quote unquote, clean shit up, as Trump and them would say, is it is crazy. Because I mean, when it's illegal to use the military domestically on U.S. citizens type shit. There's like what is the Posse Comitatus Act and shit like that. So I think previous examples of the military force used on citizens have been like Waco and shit, where they used the FBI and the army and shit to do a siege and burn out, women and children and men in a religious compound. And at the time, even people who didn't agree with the religious ideology of the people in Waco and shit, they saw it as, a violation of freedoms, liberty, whatever. The U.S. using military on its own citizens as like a line that was crossed, that was very egregious and shit like that. And now it's just regular, send them into Memphis. He wants to send them into Chicago. And because it's Black people getting affected, it's seen as a positive or a crime fighting tactic. And I think it's fucked up. And I think it's just open fascism, for real, occupying Black communities.
And one of the paragons of that form of politics was recently assassinated, Charlie Kirk. I think Charlie Kirk was one of the supporters of, send the National Guard into these black communities.
Yeah, because
So
he thought that he pathologized black men as, overly violent, always relying on the, FBI stats and shit to say that black men are just inherently prone to killing and rape and things like that. He never would mention the FBI stats on white men and pedophilia and, to catch a predator stings and shit like that, because they make up like 80% of that shit. But he was focused on the, on the age-old trope of the black man as like this hyper-violent beast, basically. And then he got killed by a white boy.
Yeah, I mean, I know we talked about it before we started recording. Malcolm X quote, "Chickens coming home to roost," and we definitely see that here, feel that here. I think it's poetic in a way, in a very dark way. I'll say that it's poetic in a very dark way that he was killed in the midst of repeating an anti-black trope in response to a question about crime data.
Yeah.
So very dark poetry there happening in real life. Yeah, I know we talked about this before, Slank, too. One thing that upset me from the response, I understand black folk that had no real response or just reacted coldly. I feel like my response to it was pretty cold, if I'm being honest. Not really celebratory, but not exactly sympathetic either. You know what I'm saying? And largely for the reasons I don't think his death equals anything positive. It's not a positive development for our people, black people, new Africans here. I don't see how it is, because really I see the political vacuum it caused, it bringing about being a more violent arena politically for black people to have to compete within. And that, of course, that's reality, but that's not a good thing if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Violence is the reality before and after Kirk's death, but if we as a community aren't prepared to meet it, you know what I'm saying, whether it be fascist oppression in our communities through stuff like the National Guard, or even protecting our own leaders that we should be putting out there to spread a message to our people. You know what I'm saying? We have to be concerned about protecting them in a more violent environment too. Yeah. I pause there. You got any response on any of that, Slank?
No, I'll say my initial reaction to it wasn't like all out celebration or real happy and gleeful. It was more like a shrug and just one less we got to worry about type shit is how I felt. I think the response to his death is crazy because he was literally just a far right YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? And he's getting treated like he was a senator or something. They got popped. But yeah, I don't know. It's more, yeah. I don't support him, and I think like in situations like this, I think about what would Malcolm think, what would H. Rap Brown, how Jamil Abdul-Amin, free him too, but how would they react to a situation like this? And is Malcolm, like you said, he had the old quote when JFK was assassinated that as an old farm boy, chickens coming home to roost never made me sad, it always made me glad. And I think this isn't even JFK. You could some people could argue that he did some positive things for, America, black people, whatever. He got Martin out of jail that one time, shit like that. But he also did negative things in the Congo, etc. But Charlie Kirk is a person whose whole message was anti-black shit. And I've seen people argue he wasn't racist. I'm a black person. He invited me to the Turning Point conference. Of course, he invited random nigga to the conference to say the same shit and back up the bullshit he's talking about, so he can point and say, "Oh, we got a Negro that agrees with me." Nah, fuck that. That's not anti-racism. Like, that's just sellouts tap dancing for $1 type shit. Charlie Kirk, his whole message was racist, You know what I'm saying? His whole message was galvanizing young people to vote for Trump, to support all the bullshit Trump does, to vote. And he spent most of his time supporting Israel too. At the very end, I've heard he was starting to question shit, not like an anti-Zionist, but just in America first, should we be funding this bullshit any longer? And maybe that got him popped. Who knows? But either way, yeah, one less we got to worry about is my reaction.
No, I definitely agree with you on that part, Slank. Yeah, I think my part on not celebrating it, like it's I still want to point out that my biggest problem with a lot of the black discourse on it is some black people trying to throw out the black people, those of our community that are celebrating it. You know what I'm saying? Like I I don't got no smoke for anybody celebrating it because I understand this guy was a racist. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand emotionally where that celebratory mood would come from once somebody on that side gets taken out. That is the other side. You know, I
Yeah.
think we are talking about opposing worldviews, you know, and that's not a situation or condition set up by new Africans. That's one imposed upon us, you know, that we're simply reacting to, you know, in a lot of ways. So yeah, I think I don't throw out no black person celebrating it, and that's you know even Umar Johnson. I know I had the quote to pull up. I accidentally I guess closed out of the tab, but you know Umar Johnson's statement on it basically was saying that you know he didn't agree with Charlie Kirk's politics, but he was definitely putting down the black folk that he saw celebrating it. You know, man, nah, I wouldn't even waste my breath saying something like that. And you know, it also makes me think that I don't think this is a one-to-one comparison, but I do want to spit this at you, Slang, just to see what you think about it. I don't think this is a one-to-one comparison at all, but it also makes me think about the strata of black people, like politically, that would look at the black lumping as you know, as a criminal element instead of looking at it for its revolutionary potential and just be willing to throw out the lumping you know, despite everything that they could potentially add. I just see like this the same maybe I'm just sensing like the same impulse to throw out those that celebrate the death of a bigot is like the same type of impulse to throw out the so-called underclass as well, you know.
Yeah. I mean, even I seen somebody on Twitter, I'd have to go back and look up who said it. But yeah, they were basically making the point that even someone like Umar has made statements in the past, kind of throwing out a segment of young black men as irredeemable. But then he had, but also he doesn't, you know, wish death upon this right wing, you know, racist dude as being like a contradictory position. So I think that kind of goes with that a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember that clip from Umar where he's like, you know, there's some, you know, segment of our community that got to be put to sleep for good.
Yeah, it was Counselor Horn at all hell _ Harry on Twitter. He said, remember, he was responding to Umar's quote about the, you know, while I did not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric, blah, 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 he don't support anybody that's like cheering it on. He goes, remember, he said some black kids need to be put to pasture, but he has compassion for Kirk. All right. So, yeah. Kind of goes with that same, like, willingness to throw out our own people real quick, but have compassion for the other side type shit.
No, for sure. For sure, for sure. Yeah, you see a similar impulse elsewhere too, like for similar reasons. I think about certain reactionary black feminists that, you know, see like a lot of in a lot of ways black masculinity, black men as a criminal type element that needs to be, you know, brought to heel and controlled, sanitized. And
Yeah. Trump even brought it up, talking about there's what do you say? There's fine black women in Chicago who told me to come help them or some shit.
Yo,
with
yo,
National Guard,
yeah.
some shit like that. And he specifically he made the gendered comment there, saying that there's women in Chicago, black women, that are urging him to come and clean shit up with the guard, basically do stop and frisk door to door. I seen the videos out of DC. They just go up to any group of 2 or more black men, young black boys, whatever, stop and frisk. What y'all got on you? What y'all doing out here? Let me see your paperwork. Slave checks. And Trump's using the excuse of saying that all these black women are urging him to come clean up. And I don't think there's a whole lot of black women, but it just shows that how they use, you know what I'm saying, the gender to, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, they use it to, rationalize for themselves what's going on under these, And yeah, I think that's the aspect of white patriarchy that oftentimes black feminism misses, or mainstream black feminism misses, that as far as like white patriarchy can, in a colonial situation like the one we're in, does have a utility in the assimilation. It has a utility for the feminine aspects of the colonized in their assimilation program and in their colonization program. And Fanon talks about this. We talked about in previous episodes. So we see it there. Like you said, we see it actively, involved in our domestic situation here, because it's a situation of domestic colonialism.
And from Crenshaw to Bell Hooks to Michelle Wallace, like if you go back to their seminal works that everybody loves and look at the citations that do exist. I mean, Crenshaw has more citations than Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks is known for not having no cites, but if you go to Crenshaw, for instance, half her citations are to white feminists she'll say like something like some crazy shit about black men. You'll go to the citation, it's like McKinnon or Brown Miller talking about how black men have always used rape as a tool of control or some shit like that. And it's like, who did they get that cite from? Oh, it's some like fucking 19th century slavery doctor or some shit. You know what I mean? And so like it's repackaged racist shit that a feminist once said, and then a black feminist said it, but because they're putting like a gendered progressive spin on it, they can say the same, we need to lock black men up because they're a threat, but in a feminist sense. And then white people applaud that, give them TED Talks, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, like it's some bullshit.
Yeah, and here's an article from Tommy Curry that lays out some of that critique within the historiography and work of black feminism. Decolonizing the intersection, black male studies as a critique of intersectionality's indebtedness to subculture of violence theory. So Slank, that's what of course you're referring to within the citations of these intersectional scholars.
Yep.
Right, they are intellectually indebted to a subculture of violence theory, which is derived from white feminism and white social sciences interpretation of black culture as savage, as less than, and particularly black men as the most representative of that backwardsness. Would you agree with that? Quick summary.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, the way they do it a lot is they'll cite some white feminists who cited basically some old ass racist and kind of just like repackaged his shit. You know what I'm saying? So they're based like there was one where Bell Hooks was citing, I don't even think she cited nobody, but she said some crazy shit like after slavery, black women were now enslaved by the freed black man, and they used to beat him behind the barn or some shit like that. And the only place that was ever fucking written was some old ass racist white scholar type shit. So yeah,
I remember Tommy Curry posting when he made that discovery. I don't know if it was something he included in any written work yet, or if it's forthcoming, but I do remember that. That's like some forensic historiography right there, because you're right, I don't think it was cited at all. And he was like, where did he get this from? I'm sorry. He asked, where did she get this from? In front of bell hooks,
Yeah,
and he finally found some obscure ass reference in the works, like you said.
I'll find what it was. I got to pull. Hold up.
Got you. And real quick, as you pull that up, I just want to like the reason I showed this. This is the Indiana Lieutenant Governor speaking about Charlie Kirk, saying Charlie Kirk now joins the company of men like Nathan Hale, Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King, heroes who gave their lives for liberty and righteousness. Again, that's the Indiana Lieutenant Governor putting Charlie Kirk on the same rank as John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King. Scary times we're living in. I just had to say that real quick.
Nah, it's crazy. And yeah, the dude that she was basically paraphrasing from was a Confederate, Dr. Cartwright. He's the guy that came up with drapetomania, the condition where if slaves run away, they have a sickness or some shit. So yeah, it was in his book, Ethnology. What was the book called? Ethnology of the Negro or Nagathis race. I don't know what that means. But yeah, he said the black man used to beat them. Free black man was beating women behind the barns and shit. And then Bell Hooks said like the same shit. And We Real Cool, page 4.
Yeah, the literature review I'm working on for my dissertation right now. I'm trying to tackle some of this as far as the continued utility of, like a Michelle Wallace, myth of the Black Superwoman. Black Macho and the Myth of the Black Superwoman. Like, even though that has been critiqued endlessly, even though there has been from its author a renunciation of what she said in the book, it continues to have traction within Black studies, within Black feminism, and of course, this is the book that was even public. Part of the story of it being published was the fact that she was aided and really platformed by CIA connected Gloria Steinem and Miss Magazine, who heralded Michelle Wallace as this, prominent, figure and, I guess a trustable source on, the Black community and how savage Black men were, acting in the community when it, it was all a lie. It fit right with, the CIA type program, how they want to depict us.
And I will say, in the acknowledgments for the myth of the Black Superwoman or whatever, Michelle Wallace shouts out Eartha Kitt, and that's the indicator right there. The book's gonna be ass. So don't even bother reading that shit.
You talking about Eartha Kitt? You talking about the one that was laid up with the white apartheid officials in South Africa during the protest movement?
Oh yeah, she was kicking it with the Cellar Scouts up in Rhodesia and shit. She's on bullshit. Definitely one of the, and she's very respected by Black feminists today. I don't know what she really did, but she told off like the vice president's wife one time or some shit. But
I think she just showed like some very like the only box she need to check for some of these hollow Black feminists that, reactionary Black feminists that's around today. If she was just defiant of men, I just think about the quote where she was like, a man, who needs that? It was some shit like that. I think that was simply enough for some people.
Yeah, they like that quote a lot. But she says that, but then she was like laid up with all these different white men in Rhodesia as an honorary white, singing on the lap of apartheid South African white dudes at segregated casinos in Sun City. Just real bullshit.
And this is why, and we can end off on this point. This is why it's important to just raise up the voices of, Black women that don't fall in the reactionary Black feminist route, which there are plentiful to choose from. I would say the majority of Black women don't fall, for like that pitfall of, reactionary feminism. So I'm thinking about people like Mabel Williams, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about people like, Amy Jacquees Garvey, and the like, And those are just two off the top that, you know, we could list a bunch more. You know, think about Clenora. Like, I got to shout out Clenora Hudson Weems, you know, an important scholar in the Africana womanist tradition. You know what I'm saying? That we don't talk about enough. You know, maybe something for us to look at in the future.
Shit. Shout out Sally Mugabe. While, you know, Eartha Kitt was over there being honorary white with Ian Smith, she was fighting for the liberation of Zimbabwe. So,
see?
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
there's
Gems.
a lot of women did not. Yeah, Eartha Kitt was the exception as far as the black women in South Africa was heavy in the you know, the different liberation movements from ZANU and Rhodesia, Zimbabwe to you know, the ANC in South Africa, MPLA, all that shit. So, and they was telling her, the kid, don't come, don't legitimize it. She said, oh, I got to make my money.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I think with that being said, I think we covered everything we need to cover. You know, I hope y'all enjoy. We put our own spin on, you know, the last few weeks of the news cycle. You know, a little new African cultural spin on things. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If so, make sure y'all hit that like button, share it, comment. You know, that really helps. Not just helps the algorithm, but it also juices us up. You know, anytime I see a like or a comment, and we ain't working with a lot of numbers right now, but it really juices us up when we see that type of stuff. So we thank y'all for that.
No, definitely. Appreciate y'all showing love.
Yeah. So yeah, catch y'all next time. We out.
Peace.
Peace.